These are 9 things to expect after you buy your first rental property that no one tells you about. First is that if it's not already rented out, that it might be vacant for a little while. And so when you buy that first property, it's really good for you to save some money to the side just in case if something goes wrong. In this case, not having the vacancy or maybe sometimes needing to fix things up. And so I always think it's a good idea to have an extra $5,000, $10,000. Now, have I done that on every property? No. But if you have that extra $5,000 or $10,000, makes you have a lot more ease of mind to cover the mortgage when those first few months go by and you're still struggling to get a tenant in there. And you might have to actually lower the price of the rental just to get someone in, so this way you can get cash flow coming in, because it's better to get money coming in than it's to get no one coming in. The second thing is that you're gonna wanna save a lot more money. Once you see the cash flow coming in for that first property, I remember when it happened to me, I felt like, holy crap, I'm playing Monopoly in real life. And so I was hooked automatically, and I was like, I wanna save a lot more now. And so you're gonna start looking for more ways to stack your income and make some more money on the side, so this way you can invest more in real estate. But also at the same time, this is the best time to start talking to people in your family, talking to friends about what you're doing, so this way you can get that out there into the world, and if people are interested in partnering with you, you can find partners that way. Third is that there's probably gonna be a property tax increase on your next property tax appraisal. I did not know this ahead of time, and I always looked at the property taxes from last year, but sometimes if the property has not been sold for a while or hasn't been appraised for a while and the sale price is a lot higher than what it used to be, the property tax value will go up significantly, and that will hurt your cash flow. So be prepared to budget a little bit extra in property taxes, maybe another 10% just in case. And so what I'd recommend is you actually look at the property tax records and see the difference year on year to make sure that there has been a jump recently, and if there hasn't been, make sure to budget that in. Next up are insurance increases. Now, this is more of a general thing that's happening right now, but a lot of other states are having high increases in insurance to cover the cost of the areas that are being affected by the hurricanes and tornadoes and these kinds of things. And so expect insurance increases from what the previous landlord might have. Next up is more of an internal thing, but you might feel like you know it all. After I bought my first property, I remember going to a meetup and I was like, I'm the king now. I got a property, right? I'm so much different than everyone else. And in reality, I was only like a step ahead. Just be understanding of this, that there's so much more to go. Like 1 property to 2 properties is a huge difference. 2 to 5 is a huge difference. 5 to 10 is a huge difference. 10 to 20 is a huge difference. I'm just getting to 20 right now. Past 20 to 30 and 30 to 40 and 50 into 100 is gonna be a new difference, a new learning, new strategies. So you have to be always learning in this business. And if that's the mindset you have, you'll always be more likely to pick more stuff up than you would have in the past. The next thing you might not expect is you might have to put utilities in your name. If the property is vacant, you might have to put utilities in your name. Or if you bought a multifamily property that's not metered properly, meaning there's 1 water meter for a duplex where there should be 2 water meters, then you might have to put the utilities in your name or your LLC's name and start collecting the utility payment from the tenants. And so you might have to update the lease as well. One thing that you should expect that I would say that most people don't expect is that getting your second property will be a lot easier than your first. It took me 4 years to get my first property and then 4 months to get my second property after that. So literally 1/12 the time frame from the first property to the second property. And it's all because I had confidence going through. I now had experience so I could see the cash flow coming through. And that experience helps you get more loans and more different types of funding, which helps me get more properties. Not only that, over time, you'll have more cash flow coming in from this property on top of the money you're making from your job. You'll have the equity that you're making from your first property as your property value goes up and the mortgage payments are being made. And so you'll have equity that you can tap in the future to touch other properties. The next thing is that you'll probably want to get a CPA to do some of your taxes. I remember when I tried to do my taxes the first time around, when I did it, I was going to owe $7,000, but somehow I ended up getting a $3,000 tax return when I asked an accountant to do it. And so once you start playing with rental properties, the tax code gets a little bit more complex. And so instead of becoming an accountant yourself and being potential to either get audited or end up in a scenario where you end up losing money because you're giving it away to taxes that you shouldn't, I highly recommend you get an accountant. It's usually almost always involves more savings than you would have spent to the government. The last thing is that some months you will do nothing and some months you will end up doing a lot. When you're closing on a property, you're doing a lot. When you're switching tenants, you're doing a lot. When you're managing rehabs, you're doing a lot. But there's so many months where nothing happens and you don't hear anything. And that's great. That's the passive part about this. And so if you're someone that wants to start making income not tied from your time, like through real estate investing, I have 2 ways that I can help you. First, you can invest with me and my partners in deals passively. Or second, I can teach you how to do that, and I'll leave a link to my mentorship below. Subscribe if you haven't already.